Alrighty. Let me see. Hello, everybody. Trying to go live in multiple areas, so bear with me. All right, so going live. Do 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 do. Okay, I think I'm live on all of the platforms that I'm trying to be live on. I'm live on TikTok, live on Instagram, live on Facebook. So I just felt really compelled to come on today and do a little chat on scale weight and then also on our perspective and its impact in our journey, in our health and fitness journey. And I'm going to try to make this as organized as possible. It's probably going to be more of a casual talk than a very educational talk. Hello, hello. Just because it's something that I am thinking about right now and it's heavy on my mind because I've been talking with some of my clients. And then it's just also some things that I've heard a lot of people talk to me in conversation about their journey, right? I just feel compelled to talk about it. So here I am with my coach shirt on, ready to go. Let's talk about the scale and your perspective. So, I listened to a podcast this morning, story of my life. And I do this because it is a good reminder. And for all of us, it's good to hear things repetitively. And for me, it also helps me kind of get in the mood for the day and like think about, okay, my clients and the work that we do. And it just keeps me in the loop. It makes me feel really good and grounded. And today, the topic on this particular podcast had a lot to do with our perspective on our journey and how it impacts our progress and our ability to stay committed, right? And so, that being said, I wanted to very specifically talk about one piece of the entire puzzle that so many of us give a lot of emphasis to. Hello, hello. Hey, beautiful. I'm not sure who's saying hey, beautiful, but thank you. I'm using StreamYard to hit three of the platforms, so it doesn't really tell me who's commenting, but thank you guys. So, one small piece of the entire health and fitness puzzle is the scale. And so many people put so much emphasis on what the number on the scale reads. And often I like to ask someone, okay, now granted, just taking what you know about the number on the scale and what it means in your mind out of the equation, if you stepped on the scale tomorrow and it was 20 pounds, 30 pounds, 40 pounds heavier than what you expected it to be, but when you looked in the mirror and you put on clothes, would it matter to you what that number on the scale meant? And if you say yes, we've got some serious work to do. But truly, if you felt good in your skin, if the clothes you wanted to wear fit well, if you were able to function in everyday life, you felt confident, you felt sexy, you felt strong, all of the things you're trying to achieve, you had the energy to play with your kids. Does the number on the scale matter? Like, really, does it matter? Or does the number on the scale matter because we as humans place some sort of value on that number? Oh, well, back in high school when I weighed 135 pounds, that's when I felt my best. So then you have this number driven in your mind at like, this was when I was at my prime. The reality is that was a whole different part of your life. And that number didn't necessarily equate to health and wellness and being in a place of just strength. You're in a different part of your life, right? Like when I was in my, teens and I weighed 135, that version of me looked very different than the version of me today that's 20 pounds heavier. And I'm happier, 20 pounds heavier, and way more confident in my body, 20 pounds heavier than I was then, right? So we sometimes need to step back and go, okay, well, is it the scale or is it the perspective I have on the scale that is impacting my journey? And it usually is. Also, side note, hey Deanna, I'm going to say this because I'm not calling you out when I'm talking about this. I think some people are going to feel that I'm calling them out, but just know like this is so common that we as coaches need to talk about this. We need to talk about this repetitively and talk about it over and over again because so many people struggle with this exact thing. They'll put in a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks of intense effort into their journey. They'll hit the gym 5 days a week, or be super intentional with their nutrition. They'll do all of the things, drink their gallon of water every single day, and the scale doesn't change. And I have so many reasons why the scale can fluctuate. I will go over with you. But if you look at that one number on the scale and go, well, it must not be working for me because it's not moving and I'm doing all of the things, you are setting yourself up for failure because that scale in your journey is going to do this. It's going to do this over and over and over again. It's just a part of the process. And a good perspective shift of that is, okay, my body is trying to adjust and adapt to the things I'm doing to it. So it's normal to see those fluctuations up and down. My body is doing what it should be. Our bodies are very adaptable. They're trying to survive with the things, the stresses, the pressures we put on it every single day. So you will see fluctuations on the scale because your metabolism's doing this dance every single time we make changes. And so, in order to really know if something's working for you or not, you have to hold on to those habits for longer than a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Like, I'm talking, we got to be consistent for like a month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months to really see what those things do for us down the road. We can't expect 1 to 3 weeks to provide crazy changes, and especially on the scale. And if that's what you guys are relying on as a source of progress, I hate to tell you, you're going to crash and burn over and over again. But when you can zoom out and remove that old belief system around what the scale is telling you, you are setting yourself up for so much success. We want to have the perspective of, what value am I getting out of everything else I'm doing for myself? What is happening on TikTok? It's telling me to do something like this. Encourage your viewers to share your live. Oh, I don't really care. Share it if you want to. Hey, my lowest weight was definitely not my healthiest. I was not strong at all, and I guess what you call skinny fat. Yes, skinny fat. I was skinny fat myself for a really long time. And I was always chasing a lower number on the scale. Never did I ever get happier with the lower number. It wasn't until I stopped pursuing a number on the scale and started pursuing what I wanted to feel and why I was doing the things I was doing, did I actually have like that freedom of, oh my gosh, the number on the scale does not matter at all. Again, my heaviest, I can even share pictures. I will drop them after this in the comments. My pictures of me at my heaviest, which was like 165, I think, and I know that's not that much, but for me it was, right? I'd never been that much before. Me at 165, and then I lost weight, and then I've now gotten up to 155. Totally 10 pounds difference, but I look tremendously different. It's because what our body is made up of, the composition is what dictates what we're going to look like, right? Not the number on the scale. You guys can be 130 pounds and look not in shape at all, or you can be 130 pounds and look ripped, totally ripped. No, I didn't mean to say that. Or you can be 150 pounds and look totally ripped. Same height, same everything, but just adding muscle tissue to the body makes you look totally different. You should see, yes, Tina's 180 pics. And if you guys haven't seen it, we did share it to the groups, but Tina's pictures at 180 pounds. So 180 pounds, I think that was pre-baby number 4. And this was when she was doing a heavy emphasis on cardio only for weight loss, really not focused on the muscle building muscle building part of the fat loss journey, just focus on losing the weight on the scale. 180 pounds. And now her today at 180 pounds after babies, really focus on building strength and muscle tissue. She looks completely different. Totally different person. If you were to put those pictures side by side and say, how much weight do you think is difference in these pictures? I'm sure people would say 20, 30 pounds, if not more, 40 pounds. But that's not true. She weighs exactly the same, but what her body's made up of is very different. And we know this because I don't have the demonstration, but fat and muscle tissue, if you have those little, I don't know, what are they called? The demonstrations. I looked at buying them, but they're so expensive. The space that fat and muscle take up is very different. Let's say, I don't know. I don't have anything good. Let me use a tissue and a washcloth for an example. This is muscle tissue. Say this is a pound of muscle tissue or 5 pounds, whatever. This is the fat tissue, a pound, 5 pounds, whatever you want to call it. Ratio, very different. If you have more muscle on your body, you can technically be weighing the same. If you lose weight, or not lose weight, lose fat, but build muscle, you can weigh the exact same, but your body look totally different. And that is so important to remember on this journey, because if you guys are strength training, your body, the scale is going to not look all that different, but your body might look different. This is why pictures are super helpful. This is why measurements are super helpful. But this is also why looking at things with your performance in your workouts. How strong have you gotten? What is your energy level like? What is your sleep like? What's your sex drive like? What are all of these things that are also very important to the quality of your life? What do they look like? Because the number on the scale going down, cool. But if you feel like shit, does it matter? I don't think so. It doesn't matter at all. So the focus on the scale, it drives me crazy. It really drives me crazy. Habits. If you can nail in those habits and really dial them in and go, okay, I'm being consistent with this. Now I'm going to add into that or whatever. And you hold that over a long period of time, watch your body transform. Forget about the scale. Throw it out the window. Go based off how you're feeling. Be proud of those habits that you're building in the intention that you're putting behind them. Stop focusing on the scale. Now, do you want to know what can impact the scale? Because I will let you know right now. um, let's say you hop on the scale every week, same day. Monday is your weigh-in day for whatever reason. You step on the scale on Monday, you look at it, you've been working so freaking hard, so intentional with your nutrition. You said no to the cake over the weekend, and you're like, all right, that scale's going to be down. And you step on it, and it's not down. In fact, it's up a pound. How does that make you feel? I'm going to let you just sit on that and feel it for a second, because I'm sure it's going to make you feel all kinds of way. You're going to go, why am I even doing this? Is it working for me? Maybe I can't change. Maybe I'm meant to be like this. My body's different. It doesn't work for me. That's a lot of the things that I hear from a lot of people. And then they give up. They give up. They're a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks in, maybe max. And they give up after all that effort because the scale didn't do what they thought it would do. Meanwhile, what could be happening underneath there is this fat is shrinking and they have muscle tissue building and the scale's just not really doing a whole lot of anything. Drives me crazy. But also, some other things that can be happening. If you only weigh weekly, there are 6 other days in the week that you do not know what's happening on the scale. Our weight does this throughout the week. It's not linear. It doesn't just go in one direction because we're in a deficit and we're doing X, Y, and Z. No, it's up and down, constantly fluctuating based off of stress, based off of how do we sleep at night, based off of did we poop? Did we have regular poops this week? How much water are we drinking? Or are we dehydrated as crap because we drank over the weekend? Did we have more carbs the day before or the night before we hopped on the scale because it was the weekend? And on Mondays, we dive back in and we go low carb again. There's so many things. Strength training, a hard intentional workout. Are you stepping on the scale after that? You're going to have inflammation, normal and not a bad thing after workouts, but it causes water retention. Our body is constantly shifting up and down. And if you give up because every little fluctuation you see is a sign of failure to you, you are never going to succeed in this journey. We have to let go of the thought that the scale is what shows our progress and go off of all the other metrics that can tell you so much more. Changes in your pictures. You guys, if you don't take pictures, and I know it is so uncomfortable to take pictures, especially in the beginning. Trust me, I don't have any. I wish I did because it was uncomfortable. I didn't want to take pictures. I was embarrassed of where I got to because I did that. I chose to neglect my body for however long I did. I get that it's uncomfortable, but man, the girl today wishes I took those pictures then because I could show you guys how different I look with only 10 pounds difference. But that's besides the point. Take the pictures. You will be so freaking proud and amazed at yourself when you put two side by side and go, oh my God, the scale's only 10 pounds off, but I look like I've lost 30 pounds. That is like the moment of like, I am on the right path. I'm doing the things. I am engaging in the habits that are going to get me to where I want to get to. Take the pictures. You can even take measurements, although those sometimes are also not super accurate too, because you might be, again, building muscle tissue under fat tissue initially, and there's not a lot of change. Again, energy levels, or are you getting stronger in the gym? Do you have more confidence in the gym? Do you have more confidence in your everyday personal life at work? There's so many amazing things that change in your life when you start taking care of yourself. Pay attention to those things because guess what? Those things are intrinsic ways to motivate ourselves. Often we rely on extrinsic motivators, and meaning that I've got a cruise or I've got a wedding. I got to get into this dress. I got to get into this bathing suit and look good. Great. That is fantastic. But the moment you're starving and a slice of pizza or your favorite cookie or whatever your favorite food is thrown at you and you are stressed out, that bathing suit and that cruise and that wedding that you have to attend is not going to be on your mind. But if you are in a place where you are intrinsically motivated, you know that choosing certain foods or pursuing certain goals make you feel better. You feel so much more in control and you're more likely going to be like, I don't need that right now. but that comes with practice. That does come with practice. So anyhow, perspective shift. Stop focusing at the scale. Listen, you guys weren't born onto this earth going, oh man, that scale, it's going to tell me whether or not I'm a failure. Nobody was born with some sort of idea of what the scale weight meant or what weight meant at all. Nobody was born with some sort of emotion attached to the scale, like, oh, the scale makes me anxious. I feel overwhelmed when I step on the scale. No, our previous beliefs, our previous experiences, things that society has told us about the number on the scale and our weight, that's what drives how we feel about the scale and the number on the scale. Like literally weighing ourselves is a neutral thing we do. We step on the scale and it has no beliefs or value or emotion attached to it unless we attach something to it, right? So stepping on the scale needs to just kind of be like a thing we do. If we can learn to remove that emotion, those beliefs from it, man, it is incredibly freeing. So something that I tend to recommend, and again, I know there's true eating disorders and things that need to be worked through with therapists, of course. That's totally separate from the general fear around the scale. I generally recommend let's eliminate the fear from the scale. Let's make it neutral again. Weigh yourself every freaking day, but don't put any emotion or value to it. Just let it be. It is what it is. Cool. It fluctuated today. No big deal. I know I'm doing the habits I need to get to where I need to be. And you guys will amaze yourself. On Monday, the scale will be bumped up. And then 3 days later, it is down 3 pounds. And then 2 days later, it might be up a pound. And then weekend comes, you might hit another low. And then Monday comes and it's high again. And then you realize, oh shit, I weighed every single Monday and it was always fluctuating because of the things I was doing on Saturday and Sunday. And you're like, oh, I am making progress. Had I just weighed every single day, I could see that fluctuation. Because this is our fat loss journey. Everybody thinks it's like this on the scale. No. It's like, and then it slowly trends down, especially if you're women. It's like slow trend down and then it spike up and then slow spike up. The scale is going to be ever changing and it is going to drive you crazy if you let it. But if you just step on it, remove all emotion, thought, feeling towards it, you're going to feel free and you're going to be able to focus more on the things that are more important, like getting up and doing the workouts you had planned, showing up for yourself, getting extra movement in throughout the day, eating foods that fuel your body well. And I'm not telling you what that means because that looks different for everybody, right? But you guys all know like there are foods that are better for us and there are foods that really don't serve great nutritional value for us. And we have a choice always in what we allow ourselves to fuel our bodies with. And I'm saying you can allow yourself some of the treat stuff. I do it all the time. There's goal foods and soul foods. Goal foods are more for, I mean, you can enjoy goal foods. I love goal foods, by the way. But those are the things we definitely want more of. And then the soul foods are like the things we're like, treat yourself type of stuff. But again, remember why we eat the things we eat. I used to be like that, but now it's a tool I use, the scale. Yes, that's all it is. The scale is just a tool, just like anything else. And in the podcast I was listening to, they were talking about this in reference to everything in your journey. So now let's talk about the perspective on things. Again, remove that negative thought belief system you have on the scale, and also remove that for everything in your journey. When it comes to food, how do you approach your food? Are you someone that's, tracking it? Are you someone that's doing some sort of journaling? Or do you just think like there's healthy food and bad food, and I can only have healthy food when I'm dieting, and bad food I can only have when I'm not dieting, because that needs to be fixed. But that's another topic for another day. But really, all of these things that we do, exercise, nutrition, stepping on the scale, the things we do to pursue goals that we have, they're all neutral. Like there's no emotion and belief tied to those things except for what we have put on them. Exercising is so hard. It's so overwhelming. Tracking so overwhelming and time consuming. Is it though? It's really not that time consuming. Tracking your food is actually very quick and efficient. But if you always think that it's overwhelming and believe that it's overwhelming and tell yourself it consumes so much of your time, I promise you it is going to feel overwhelming and be overwhelming and feel like it's consuming all of your time. It is our beliefs and our perspective on these things that impacts our ability to follow through with them. It's going to impact our behaviors when it comes to taking action towards those steps. So again, let's try to remove the emotion behind all of it, right? "Ugh, I don't want to go to do my workout because it's so hard." You workouts are meant to be hard, okay? But we do it because we do it. And a good example is like moms, especially dads. You guys don't wake up every single day and go, "Oh, I don't want to take care of my kids because it's so hard." No, you get up and you do it. You do it because it's what you do. You remove that like emotion that's constantly there. We have the emotion. You can have the emotion, it's fine. Don't attach it to the habits though and the behaviors. You do the things because it's important to you. You take care of your kids because it's important to you. You brush your teeth because it's important to you. Treat your nutrition, treat your exercise, treat hopping on the scale the same. You do it because it's something you do. But the emotion you feel around it, let it go. Don't attach it to the behaviors. I think this is why the Nike this is why the Nike phrase is actually really powerful. Just do it. I know sometimes it's challenging. I get that. I really do. Trust me, I'm a human. I understand that. But I also understand that when you remove the emotion and you go through with the motion, you do the things anyways, you come out of it generally feeling a lot better and feeling so confident and proud of yourself. And that only fuels your motivation to continue. Motivation doesn't come first. Action leads to motivation, leads to progress, and so on and so forth. So change your perspective. Remove all of those feelings because oftentimes they're negative feelings towards the goals. You think, I have to do it. No, you don't. You have a choice. Every single time you have a choice. You have control in the situation. And a lot of people think they don't have control in situations. You do. You control the emotions you feel around them. If you feel overwhelmed about something, you are choosing to feel overwhelmed about it. And I know that triggers people, but it's the truth. And it's a hard pill to swallow. Once you start to acknowledge and recognize that, it's freeing though. It's like, oh, I'm choosing to stress out about this thing that I don't really need to stress out about. I'm choosing to make a bigger deal out of the workout that I'm going to do instead of just showing up and starting it. Just show up. Show up, do the things, don't put any emotion towards it. And what happens is generally you start to feel a lot better about those things. Um, Something I've been telling some of my clients or talking to them about is kind of just like step back. Like, you think about all of these things as hard, challenging, overwhelming. Sure, they can be those things. Remove that though. Remove it. Be really neutral when you approach your goals. And then, even better, if you can just put a positive spin on the things and try to find the silver lining in everything you do. And again, this is what I told my clients, not being positive Polly all the time, because that's not realistic. We have to have the checks and balances of feeling the things in our life. We're going to have moments that are negative. We're going to have moments that are positive. But if we can at least find the silver lining in everything we're doing, we are going to probably very much succeed in all of the goals we have. Show up, find the silver lining in the things we're doing. Voila. Watch the journey just get so much easier for you. I used to let the scale bother me, but now I've gotten used to slight fluctuations and do not let it control my emotions or how my day is going to be that day or week. Yes. And when you do that, I honestly think about how many times you have started and really rocked and rolled your nutrition for the week and your exercise or whatever it is. And you are so proud of yourself. You feel so proud until the moment you step on the scale. And then almost every single time, what happens after you step on the scale and you see that change, that fluctuation in the direction you were not expecting? You felt like $1,000,000 before because you were proud of yourself for showing up. But then now all of a sudden you feel the complete opposite. You feel like a failure. Why is that? It's because we've attached a value to the number going down on the scale. We've attached emotion to it. We have got to let that go and really get honest, not honest, but realistic with the fact that sometimes the scale's not going to do anything. It might not do anything for weeks, months, especially if your goal is more, let me say this, especially if you are strength training, you are a newbie, especially if you're a newbie in your strength training, and you maybe aren't in a super steep calorie deficit. The scale's not going to do a whole lot. And it might not do a whole lot. And then all of a sudden it does a whole lot of something. You're like, whoa, where did that come from? I haven't changed anything. Yes, that's just how this journey works. I actually will not weigh myself because of that feeling. And that's okay too. You do not have to weigh yourself. Honestly, like I think sometimes the scale is more trouble than it's worth for some people. I actually just recommended one of my clients to put it away for now. I'm like, you know what? You are crushing your habits right now. We are doing the things with tracking food. We're doing our workouts. We know this has provided results in the past, so we're gonna put the scale away because it's messing with you mentally, right? If it's gonna mess with you mentally, put it away and Pay attention to all the other things that are going really well, to all the habits you are crushing. Pay attention to those things. Those are what keeps you successful long term. Screw the scale. If it takes you a year to lose 10 pounds, but you feel fantastic doing it, it's so much better than losing 30 pounds in 2 or 3 months. And then, the scale does something you don't want it to do. And then you gain 20, 30 plus pounds again in the next several months. And then you're disappointed in the same year span. You haven't really done a whole lot. I'd much rather you lose 10 pounds and feel good about it than do this yo-yoing and come out feeling like you're never going to succeed. That is not good for your ego or your confidence in your journey. So, ladies and gents, perspective shift. Change your perspective on your journey. Just be neutral about it. Like, don't attach a lot of emotion to it. Take action. This is your life. You are deserving of a better life. Take care of yourself like you would your children, like you show up for everybody else in your life. It drives me so crazy that I see so many people showing up for so many others in their life, but not for themselves. I just have a hard time with it. And as someone who's been there, I think that's why I have an even harder time with it, because I can see how much better I feel as a person showing up for me, because then I can better show up for everybody else. But without that, without myself feeling good, I can't be the person I want to be. So change your perspective, go neutral, add a little positive spin if you can, get off the scale, or way more frequently, and just be really neutral with the scale. That's my best recommendation. But you guys, I do promise to, if you're someone who really cares about like getting tone and building strength, there's going to be a point in your journey where you don't lose weight anymore. In fact, you gain weight. That's me. I can like lean down if I want to more, but I've just discovered it's not worth it. I feel so just exhausted. I don't feel happy. I don't have the flexibility in my life. And I love going out to eat. I love having a margarita. I love cookies, but I can't do those as much as I would like to if I'm trying to get super lean. And it's just, I've found in my life, it's not worth it. But what is worth it is continuing to build a strong, solid body. And that means that the scale just likes to slowly creep up. I'm slowly inching towards my heaviest weight again, but it's okay because I look incredible compared to what I did at my heaviest. So I am not mad about it. I actually feel the best I've ever felt in my life. And I know Coach Tina is feeling the same way. I know Coach Tanya, my sister, also feels that way because she has always been a skinny mini. But now that she's actually at a heavier weight, she's building so much muscle and her body looks so different in a good way. And I think that's the thing that does need to change in society. If you want to be super thin and skinny and not no muscle, like that's your prerogative. That's fine too. But oftentimes when people talk to me, what I hear them say is, I want to be toned. And what that means is you just want to have some muscle definition. So you need to have some muscle tissue to do that. And you want to be able to see that muscle definition, which means you need to lose enough fat to be able to see it. That's literally all that means. It doesn't mean you want to be skinny. Carrying some body fat's actually very healthy for our hormones. So getting super lean is very challenging to stay there. So most of us want, I can guarantee you your body weight, that your healthy weight to where you can actually live and enjoy your life and not have to worry about gaining a ton of weight the second you put a cookie in your mouth. It's going to be probably about 20 pounds heavier than you think. I can almost guarantee you, because I thought I had to be 135 based off BMI charts. 135. I'm sitting at 155 and I feel good, baby. So, anyways, long story short, scale is just a tool, and we have to learn to remove our emotions and our thoughts and our feelings and beliefs around it. Get rid of it. It's literally just a number. It doesn't equate to value or your consistency or how well you're doing in your journey. I mean, if it's going up like crazy, yeah, of course, then we can worry about something. But those little fluctuations, they're going to drive you crazy if you let them, but they're nothing but a thing. Just remove those thoughts, beliefs, values, get really neutral with the scale, weigh daily if you need to really watch those fluctuations and learn about your body, learn about how the little things you do throughout the week impact the scale. And it's not a bad thing. Remember, it's not a bad thing. I'm not saying do it to be more restrictive at all. It's just it's just as data, like a scientist collecting data. That's all. Focus on the habits over anything else. Habits will get you where you want to go, and change your perspective. If you look at everything as, I have to do this, It's going to take so much energy. It's overwhelming. It's going to feel that way. But if you look for the ways that it's easy or it feels good, you really look for those things, it's going to start to feel a lot easier. It's going to start to feel really good if you can just change your perspective on it. And also, I always remind people of this in the very beginning or in the first year or two of your journey. That's going to be the most challenging because, right, you have some sort of goal you're chasing, you have new habits you're trying to put into place. That is going to be the most challenging time, of course. It's going to require a little more effort. But when you get those habits ingrained, it is like smooth sailing. Your journey gets so much easier. And I think that's why so many people have a hard time with us coaches and those of us who are longer in the journey. They're like, yeah, it comes so easy for you. Yes, because I worked very hard to get these habits nailed down. But in the beginning, it was not easy for me. It was very difficult. I did the yo-yo thing. I did all of the things wrong too. Trust me, I've been there. I've been there. But I do promise it gets easier if you just keep showing up for you. So I hope you guys are having a great Tuesday. I'm gonna stop yakking, get off of here, and I normally go live on Fridays, but I'm not gonna be going live on Friday because I forgot that I picked up a nursing shift until today. I realized I'm like, ooh, it's probably a good thing I just realized that I picked that up because they would have been real disappointed in me if I no showed. So Friday I will be working 12-hour shifts, so I will not be going live. So here's the live for the week. If you guys have any questions, let me know in the comments. Otherwise, tomorrow, if you are on our email list, there is an email going out. Read it and respond to it if you are interested in the metabolism guide that I mentioned in it. And I will definitely send that your way. But for now, I hope you guys are having a great day. When mine goes up, then slight fluctuations, I take a look at am I retaining fluid, which is usually the case for me, and work on controlling that. Yep. And we all retain fluids for different reasons. Like water weight it's something our body does. There's always shifts in water weight. Always. Always, 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 always. There's things that impact that. I mean, if you're sick, you're going to see crazy changes on the scale too, right? Like you have a cold. So many people are so focused on that damn scale. I just want to take it and chuck it out the window sometimes. All right, guys, I'm going to hop off. I hope you guys have a wonderful Tuesday, and we will talk to you later.